Hey, what is going on, crypto people? So, Madame Lagarde, Christine Lagarde, formerly the head of the IMF, says in reference to the EU CBDC, the digital euro will be used to impose control. To impose control. It will be used to impose control. EU citizens already face imprisonment or fines for engaging in cash transactions above €1,000. But the introduction of the digital euro will facilitate financial totalitarianism on a scale that would make even George Orwell wince. Do you see what's going on? Central banks, right? I've been saying this for a while because there's a lot of people who just think, well, this innovation, this technology, these promises of a CBDC and what it could do, the potential great stuff. And they just ignore the potential crazy stuff. I'm going to let you guys listen to Madame Lagarde here in a second, but I do want to point out this. Look, if you understand the whole concept of central banks and central bankers and how that all came about, you would be running, you'd be screaming from the rooftop, you'd be emailing every congressperson you could. We don't want a CBDC. If you understand the real truth behind it, the truth behind the central banks, let me share with you. Let me read this here. History, you were never told. Americans banded together to reject the Federal Reserve. Bankers and the media lied to the people and included clauses limiting Congress powers after they passed central bank legislation. They pulled a hoodwink on Congress and the American people. Got a vote to be able to get passed while 80 to 90% of Congress was out on vacay. What do they call it in Europe? On holiday. We'll call it on holiday. I think that's what they call it. It was passed when most of Congress was out on, what's right there, out on holiday. Did you know that? Did you know that the Federal Reserve Act was originally called the Aldrich Bill? Did you know that? From Senator Aldrich? Did you know the whole bought and paid for Congress thing has been going on for a minute, as we like to say? There's a lot to history, American history especially, that a lot of people just don't know. A lot of people don't know about the Homestead Act of 1863. Have no clue. Have no clue why there's even a talk of reparations today, because they don't understand the Homestead Act of 1863 and what happened. The truth of what happened back then. People knew what central banks were and understood them very well. Everywhere a central bank went, there will be wealth inequality. Wild swings between economic booms and busts, and after each bust, those at the top of society mysteriously came out richer while everyone else got poorer. Europe was the running example of this at the time. Europe was the running example of this at the time. Europe. Madame Lagarde has publicly said, in reference to the digital euro, there will be control. We will impose controls. We'll be in control of it. We'll tell you what you can and can't do with it. Yeah. The Federal Reserve was originally drafted as the Aldrich Bill. But when it came into Congress, they recognized Senator Aldrich's name and smelled a rat. The bankers needed better cover. They decided to send two millionaire friends to carry the bill to quell the suspicions renamed at the Federal Reserve Act. Next, in a textbook lesson of deceit, the bankers set out to fool the American people through disinformation. In the newspapers of the day, the bankers screamed and protested against a new Federal Reserve bill. It would ruin the banks, they exclaimed. The average person read the protesting articles of the bankers and thought to themselves, if the bankers hate it, it must be good. If the bankers hated it, it must be good. And then they ended up unknowingly supporting a Trojan horse. So the bankers came out and used the media to shame, discredit their own bill, knowing that the society would flip that and say, okay, yeah, if the bankers don't want it, then it must be a good thing. So let's get this going. The bankers also fooled Congress by putting clauses in the bill that limited their power once the bill was passed. A doublehead fake of the public and Congress was all it took. The bill was passed on December 23rd, 1913, while most of Congress was out on holiday. And with that, a small group had complete monopoly over the issuing and creation of American money. Google it, check it out for yourself, see if it's factual. I know for me, it looks it's obvious. You got to get this whole banking thing's been going on since the dawn of time. And they have been screwing it up, and they have used it to create monopolies and families going back to the Medicis. It is not about the people. Let's take a listen to this.
You're introducing the electronic euro, as I know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
How can switching to an electronic currency help?
Now we have in Europe this threshold above 1,000 euros, you cannot pay cash. If you do, you are on the gray market. You take your risk. You get caught, you are fined, or you go in jail. But you know, the digital euro is going to have a limited amount of control. There will be control, you're right. You're completely right. We are considering whether for very small amounts, you know, anything that is around 300, 400 euros, we could have a mechanism where there is zero control. But that could be dangerous. The terrorist attacks on France back 10 years ago were entirely financed by those very small anonymous credit cards that you can recharge in total anonymity.
So, and this is what they do. They're using this thing. So now they're saying, wait a minute. She said, we could have like, you know, small amount, 300, 400, won't be monitored, won't be controlled, 300 euros, 400 euros. But that could be dangerous because the bad guys used these small transactions to facilitate terrorism. So they're going to implement control to protect you from the terrorist stuff. Right now in Europe, like I read, you can't use cash. You can't use cash. Over $1,000, you get quote unquote put into 1,000 euros. You get put into this gray list. You could be fined and jailed. Fined and jailed for using your cash. Remember, everything started with Europe. So I'm cautious. Be very, very cautious of what's going on right now with the CBDC thing. I think it is, again, it's called a central bank digital currency. If we're given the central bank's control over it, I would run away as fast as humanly possible because you can't trust the central banks. I just don't understand the people and their logic trying to think about the good that can come for a CBDC and not recognizing how bad, all the bad that can come from it. It's about control. They want control over the people. Just give me the stable coins. Give me the stable coins. And if you got Congress right now feels as though they can't do anything to central bankers, they feel like there's no control. Look, all it takes is for the bankers to gain access to a couple of Congress people and the current administration, any administration. And how do you do that with dollars? You do it with dollars. You do it with dollars. And they have them because they can print them at will. So this idea of the central bank as a currency and all this stupid freaking, no. Give me a stable coin that's privately issued stable coin from a CEO, right? And a chairman. Does Congress got to kind of jump through hoops to get that fixed? When we talk about a CEO of a company, does Congress got to jump through all kind of hoops and laws to check Jeremy Allaire at Circle? Yeah, I don't think so. But they do with central banks. It's so hugely important to get the difference. Beware of the CBDC. It is dangerous. She just said there will be control. It's just one person here. So I know Jerome Powell looks like a nice guy. But if he comes up with something that he thinks is going to be great, and you're now beholden to him because you have to use a CBDC? No, I don't think so. Be cautious, my friends. Be cautious about this. I mean, that is very, very alarming to me. Very, very alarming, this whole CBDC notion. Give me the stable coins, man. Give me the stables. Let me choose my own money. Let me choose how to store my money. Where are you putting your CBDC? Where are you putting your central bank digital currency? Where are you putting it? Are you custodying that? Get rid of those dollars. Get rid of that fiat. Where are you custodying the CBDC? You have no control. And then you have no control over the monetary policy that comes with that CBDC. They put it in. It's dangerous, fam. It's absolutely dangerous. So listen, a couple of things. Number one, shout out to Jungle Inc. I just want to give some flowers to Jungle. I've been watching him, watching his videos. Dude is putting in the work. I mean, putting in the work big time. Putting out 2-3 videos every single day. It's been absolutely great to see. Shout out to you, my guy. I hope you're doing well. Keep doing what you're doing. If you guys are not following Jungle Inc. on YouTube, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go follow Jungle Inc., man. Soak it up. Soak up all the stuff. We appreciate you, my friend. We appreciate you, bro. All right, guys, look, this wraps up your XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope that it has been of value too. If it has, do me a favor, hit that like button. Do this. Do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you've been hanging out watching the Crypto Seas and you enjoy the hangout, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money, it doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, to perhaps ponder the idea or notion to live your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.